Well, there are already big fires burning up in Alberta, Canada. Those have burned more than 500,000 acres. It was a little bit hazy today in Western Washington as air quality experts say some of that smoke drifted our way. They say we need to adjust to the reality that smoky conditions could become an ongoing phenomenon with serious health consequences.
The morning haze that blanketed downtown Seattle was mostly moisture, fog, but mixed in there was a thin layer of smoke from a wildfire in Canada, an unsettling preview of the next several months.
Currently, everything is good. If we look at all of our counties here, they're all green.
Phil Swartzendruber's an air quality scientist with Puget Sound Clean Air Agency. He was among several air quality experts who gathered recently to prepare for another smoky summer.
This is a new thing that we're going to have to start thinking about now as part of a regular sort of seasonal thing. This is perhaps the new norm.
They used to only worry about bad air in the winter. That changed in summer 2017 as wildfire smoke choked Washington state, and then again last year. This could become a pattern.
We want to be ready, and we would encourage everyone to be prepared and think that it might very well happen again this year.
The EPA says wildfire smoke can cause a range of health problems, from burning eyes and a runny nose to more serious symptoms for people with heart and lung diseases. Last year, hardware stores sold out of N95 rated respirator masks, so now might be a good time to buy a few. Same for air filters. Those were hard to find when the smoke moved in because everyone suddenly wanted one. If you have asthma or breathing problems, talk with your doctor about how to prepare. Puget Sound Clean Air Agency says the next few weeks look pretty clear, but with wildfire season in its opening act, that could change quickly.
And there was another meeting of air quality and health officials this week in Seattle. They said it was the biggest ever gathering of its kind in the Pacific Northwest. One of the big questions they confronted was how to help communities now routinely smoke-bound in the summer cope with that smoke. They're now talking about applying emergency preparedness concepts, kind of like preparing for a disaster, but preparing for smoke. One of the big takeaways from that meeting is making sure that people have the latest air quality information and access to alerts and information so they can prepare. And then they aren't scrambling for relief when all that smoke comes in with just a few days' notice. That's what we saw the last few years.
Yeah. And you showed us some home remedies last year with the fan and the furnace filter.
It's on king5.com.
Okay, Ted, thank you.